everyone, this is Georgia with Georgia's Crafty Creations, and I'm coming to you today with another Christmas in July project. I'm doing this card as part of May Made Its design team, and I wanted to do a simple card. And May stamps, some of them are really nice to do really simple, elegant cards with. So this is what I came up with. I love doing cards with the nativity. So let's show you the supplies we're going to need. The two stamp sets I used for this project were All Is Bright, and the only thing I used from this is the All Is Calm, All Is Bright stamp. And then I used the Celebrate the Season stamp set. We used the Nativity and the stars and also one of the sentiments. Now what you'll need to cut for this card, this is an A2 size card. Now I also used as my base a card from the Creative Collection, Nina. It's extra heavy, black, and because I like my cards to match, I actually took one of the cards and cut it down to make my black mats because I like them to match. So I have my card base from there. You're also going to need two white mats, and these mats are cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then you're going to need a black mat, and this one's cut at 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And then you're going to need a small white square. This is cut at 1 1/2 inches. One small black square. This is cut at 1 3/8 inches. And then you're also going to need a piece of silver ribbon. And I just have ribbon I bought on clearance last year at Michael's. It's just a silver glittery ribbon, but you can use any ribbon or even washi tape you have on hand. So let's get started with our card. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is get all my stamping and embossing done, and then that way putting the card together goes really fast. So I'm going to grab my mini Misty, and I'm going to take my black piece, and I have an embossing buddy. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it all over there. And then we're going to put the card down. And then I'm going to take my nativity stamp and put it right down at the edge of the card, because I like it at the bottom edge. And then I'm going to take my largest star and I'm going to place it right above to kind of match up close to where the nativity is. And then the other two stars, you can place them like you want. I put one up here in the corner and one kind of down angled. There. Except I put them upside down, so we need to flip them. Okay, I like that placement. So what I'm going to be using for stamping the ink is I have a clear pigment ink from Fun Stamper's Journey that I like for embossing. So we're going to go ahead and ink up our stamps. Except one did not come up with it. Crap, there we go. And normally when I'm embossing, I like to ink it and stamp it twice just to give it a little more juice, so to speak. Except one of my stars popped off. That little star just doesn't seem to want to stay where I have it. So I'm going to pull the little one off for a minute. We're going to go ahead and stamp that. And yes, I want to stamp it again. I'm going to try to get that little star to stay. It's being stubborn today. I thought I lost it earlier and it was stuck to something else, and it just doesn't want to stay put. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take that little star and just kind of lay it there and stamp it when I go down. And I can live with that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my embossing powder on this, but I'm not going to do the heat set yet. I'm going to get all my pieces ready first. So this is silver embossing powder. But after I do this part, to get the little dots all over the card that looks like little stars, that's good. Well, still some there. And on this one, you don't have to worry about getting it all off because it just lends to more sparkly sky. But I'm going to use a Ranger Emboss pen. I'm going to take it and just dot wherever I want stars at, or little light stars. You can do as many of these or as few of these as you want. I just like to have a really bright sky. And you can do this and then put the embossing powder on it. If you don't have enough, you can add more. And actually, I think I'm going to add a few more to it. Didn't quite get enough. But just do a light dot, because if you don't, you'll get like a tail to it. Which I just did that one, but that one will actually be covered up. Let's go ahead and do that again. And if you have more on there than you want, which I think I'm okay with most of it, but I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit off with a brush and leave a little bit on. But I'm happy with that, so I'm going to set that piece aside for a moment because we'll do all the heat setting at one time also. So the next thing I'm going to stamp is my little triangle or square, but I'm going to turn it diagonally. And the way I line this up is I'll put 1 point at the inch mark here, which is 5 inches, and then 1 point at that 1 inch. And then we're going to take our All Is Calm, All Is Bright stamp, and we're going to line that up where we want it. Take our nativity off. But once again, do your embossing, buddy. I seem to always forget that. Okay, we're going to stamp that one. Actually, that one I'm happy with, so we're just going to go ahead and put our embossing powder on it. And that one looks good. And then the last thing we're going to stamp is our sentiment. And we're going to stamp our sentiment on a piece of the white cardstock. And the sentiment I'm using says, "Born on a midnight clear, a baby boy so small and dear, a holy child sent from glory, that's the real Christmas story." And I just thought it went in real nice with the, once again, embossing buddy. But it goes, it's a nice sentiment for the nativity. So I think I like that where that's at. Yep, good with that. So we're going to get that stamped up. And this one I do twice because I can't really see it, and I want to make sure that all my words get stamped well. Okay, and with that we're done with the Misty, so I can set that aside. I'll get my stamp off of there later. We're going to go ahead and get our embossing powder on this. And there we have that. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and heat set all of these, and then we'll put our card together. Okay, so we have all of our pieces ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my piece of silver ribbon. I'm just going to, I usually cut it 6.5 to 7 inches. also want to put my ink pad away before I start getting it on stuff. And then what I like to do with my ribbon is I'll take it and run it through my Xyron to put a sticky back to it. And then just kind of push on it really well. There we go. And then I'm going to just place this down the side of the card. And you can put it wherever you want. I just tend to put it about a ½ inch or so from the outside of the card. Then I'm going to flip it over and press my ribbon down. And then for this, I'm just going to take a double-sided tape runner. And get it on all the sides. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put it on top of our other white piece. I'm happy with that. And then we're going to take our inside sentiment, get that pressed down really well. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put tape on the back of it. And once again, the way I like to do my inside sentiments is I'll put mine on the opposite side and kind of center it up with the card. That looks pretty good. And then I'll just fold my card over onto it. And then I have my sentiment where I want it, and then I'll press it down some more. And then for our top, I like to have it raised up, so I'm going to take some foam squares. And I like to make sure it's nice and sturdy, so I'll put about 9 on here. I'll do 1 at each corner, and then down the middle also. I just don't like things to come apart once I get them put together. And that one I already got the paper off of. So that's okay. We're just going to peel these off. So we're going to take our top piece and get it centered on our card. And that looks pretty good. There we go. Now I'm going to take my little square, put it through my Xyron. And we're going to put it on top of our little white square. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to put a foam square on the back of it. And this, I like to angle it rather than putting it straight. That's why I did it in the diamond shape. But rather than have it right over the ribbon, I'd like to offset it a little bit just to give it a little more visual interest. And then pop it on. So there you have it. Another Christmas in July card. Now you can make this card, you could do it even with different color cardstocks, different ribbons. Just something simple to do. So I hope you like this card. I'll leave all the supplies down below that you need to make it and the measurements of the card. I hope you like this project. Make it, if you make it, share over on May Made It on Facebook and also on my page, George's Crafty Creations. I'd love to see your take on the cards. Switch it up. Do it however you like to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a crafty day.